Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a new article from Fox News that has come out today called Republican Revenge, Record GOP Field Forms on 2020 Mission to Take Down, quote, Socialists. So this article talks about how there are a record number of people filing to run for the House and Senate from the GOP side. We saw that in 2018. This was the same on the Democratic side. We had a lot of establishment Democrats and establishment Republicans lose to new coming freshman Democrats in the wave year that they had in 2018, taking back the House, winning some Senate seats like in Nevada and Arizona. They did get a net loss in the Senate, but they were able to retain some seats that they thought they might have lost otherwise. And so that was a very big year for them. It says in 2019 alone, 781 Republicans filed federal paperwork to run for the House, which is the most ever recorded in an odd year at the FEC. That is up from 593 in 2017, upcoming to the Democratic wave year that existed. And a lot of these people are just talking about it as a response to uh, the impeachment of President Trump, and a lot of people are upset about that. A lot of people, where you have Democratic congressmen in districts that voted for Trump, a lot of people are mad, and a lot of people are running to Congress and trying to unseat those people. And from this graph, what we can see is that there has been a lot of fundraising for those new candidates, and those new candidates have been able to organize very well. They've been able to fund money very well, and that's going to bode well for them, I think, in the long run. You can see it talks about here how Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was able to win in New York's 14th district, and it just shows that the Republicans still do have some hope of taking back the House, even though it hasn't happened in a presidential year since the 50s, since 1954, I believe. And this will be talking about, could the Republicans possibly have a wave year similar to what the Democrats had in 2018? Looking at President Trump's job approval, his approval ratings, we see that they reached all the way down to 41.6% on October 26th, and now they are all the way up to 46%. 46%. Keep in mind, he only won in 2016 with 45.8% of the vote, so his approval rating now is higher than, first of all, it's higher than it ever has been since the beginning of his presidency. And second of all, since it's higher than it's been for the rest of his presidency, it's also higher than the vote total that he got in 2016. He had about a 37% approval rating in 2016 when he was about to run for president, and when he got elected, and now he has a 46% approval rating leading up to the election. The Dems are not doing very well. Their party is a bit fractured. You have Michael Bloomberg, Bernie Sanders on the opposite sides of the spectrum, pretty much. I'm looking at the approval ratings here. We see some are even at +4 from a poll from Emerson, which is pretty unbelievable. And even it's not just the Rasmussen polls that have him in the positive. His approval rating has been going up, and we'll see how does this translate to the actual election. I filled in all the toss-up seats from the Cook Political Report onto the map here, and if you fill in all the toss-up seats that it rates as toss-ups for the Republicans, they would be just 3 away from the majority. Then you could say they could win an Arizona seat, they could win a Texas seat, they could also win in Virginia. They could win in Nevada, they could win some in California, and that would give them back the majority, just winning some of these tilt and lean seats towards either side. They could win back New Hampshire even. They could win back a Michigan seat, assuming that it goes to Donald Trump. And this gives them a pretty large majority, just winning some of the lean seats. They could even make more gains than this, assuming that it'll bode well for them having more people run. Looking at the Senate election, I filled out all the safe seats here. You could think that if you have a lot of strong candidates running or weak candidates on the Democratic side, Kentucky, Texas goes safe, Kansas goes safe, Iowa goes safe, Georgia goes safe, Alabama could even go safe. Um, and for the and they could even end up tilting Colorado. The Democrats could barely win New Mexico. Republicans could retain Arizona. They could retain North Carolina. They could get Virginia pretty close. They could also get Minnesota very close. They could win Michigan. They could also win New Hampshire. They could also win Maine. And they would also win this seat. And that would put them at 56 seats, and that would be a monumentous win for them. And it would truly be a wave year. If we're going to look at the presidential election map, you think that all of these states that they would be able to win by a safe margin, all of these states down here, all the way up here, these states would all be safe if you're assuming that this is going to be a Republican wave year. You could also give Maine's second district, and the Democrats wouldn't really get many safe seats at all in this situation. New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, all of the normal states. Maybe you could argue Delaware and whatever doesn't go safe. But this situation, we'll put it like this. Actually, we'll put Rhode Island likely, Jersey likely, Delaware likely. And it's getting a lot closer. You see, Republicans could win Minnesota, and they'll hold on to these seats. They could win Virginia. They'll win North Carolina. They'll win Georgia. They'll win Florida. They'll win Arizona. They could even win Nevada. They could get Oregon closer. They could get Colorado closer. They could get New Mexico closer, possibly even flip it. They could win New Hampshire. And this would put them, they could win Maine at large. And this could put them at a landslide victory of 341 to 197. We're going to assume that this is a red wave, a wave that we saw in 2010 and 2014. Republicans do have some opportunities to take back the House, especially since there are people that voted for impeachment, people with constituents that may not be happy with what has been going on with the impeachment and everything. Democrats really haven't gotten much done that's been bipartisan, that's been able to get passed. They got USMCA passed most recently, but that was handed as a victory to Trump, not the House Democrats. In the Senate, too, you see, the Democrats would be hopeful to take back some seats. They're hopeful to take back Colorado, Arizona, North Carolina, Maine, and they're also hoping that they can retain Michigan and Virginia and New Hampshire. And in this situation, they very well could lose it. You could even see that the Republicans could somewhat get close to a supermajority. They win New Mexico, Minnesota, Virginia, and maybe they get Oregon closer. Obviously that's probably not going to happen, but it shows that the Democrats the chances of them getting a victory have gotten lower. You see, back in the end of 2017, it looked pretty certain that Trump was going to lose. He had a 58% approval rating. That was pretty bad for him. But now you see that with all the Democratic primary, all the mess-ups they had with Iowa, and you have Bernie Sanders as the front runner who would lose, you see that a Trump victory looks certain, and it could be a landslide victory if, like, look back at the article here, if we have a number of House Democrats running, you could see the Republicans win. Trump wins in a landslide in the presidential election. They gain in the Senate, which would be against all odds pretty much. They gain a net gain of 3, I'm going to predict from this. And they were able to take back the House. And obviously this is all hypothetical. I believe that the chances are that the Democrats still will retain the House, and they still maybe will gain a net gain of 1 or 2 in the Senate. And I think it is more likely than not that Donald Trump's going to be reelected in terms of the presidential election, but I believe that this is still a very likely possibility, and I think that is something that the Democrats should watch out for, because it is going to become a lot more important as they get closer to the election, that the odds are going to be against them, not for them, as they have been for the elections in the past. I think that the Democrats are going to have to watch out for that, because if Donald Trump wins again, it's going to be very consequential for them. I think that they're not going to be very happy. Donald Trump will probably end up getting impeached again. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that new article that came out and see how that is going to affect the rest of the map. Could it be a wave year? I don't know. I think it's possible, but unlikely. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.